We're in the Netherlands where we're testing the new Nissan Micra. I'm Alastair Crooks and you're watching Auto Express. Now let's get the obvious out of the way. Yes, this is based on the Renault 5, but if you're going to choose an electric supermini to base your new car on, the Renault 5 really is an excellent choice because it's our affordable electric car of the year. Now before we get into how the Nissan Micra drives, let's take a look at the design. At the front you've got these new headlights where they have a sort of winking look according to Nissan. I'll let you be the judge of that. And down the side you've got a gelato scoop line, and it goes all the way from the headlight down the side to the rear door. And speaking of the rear door, you've got a hidden door handle here just to give it a sort of 3-door look. Around to the rear, Nissan has given it some more round lights, and actually it's sunken in the rear glass hatch. But overall, it looks fairly different to the Renault 5, although if you park them up against each other, you probably notice the proportions are very, very similar. Now, jumping inside the new Nissan Micra, you'll notice that if you've spent any time in the new Renault 5, it's all very familiar in here. The two twin screens are taken directly from the Renault 5, as are the bank of physical controls there. There are a few little Easter eggs. So in the center console here, you'll find a little graphic of Mount Fuji there. Another Easter egg is the French cockerel on the windscreen, which is obviously not a Nissan design. Just looking around the interior, it's actually a very nice place to be. It's actually full of decent materials, apart from some scratchy plastic on the top here. Nice sort of blue padded leather on the dash and the door cards, and on the infotainment screen Nissan's actually gone through the trouble of making a little graphic for the Micra there, just to give it a little bit of a unique edge. One thing that you won't find in the Nissan compared to the Renault is a baguette holder, for obvious reasons. Another change that Nissan have made are the brake regen paddles that you'll see there. We think that's a better touch than the Renaults, where you've just got a switch for the different brake regen strengths. Here it actually works pretty well. Did you know that you could sell your car with Auto Express? With decades of advice and trusted reviews behind us, it's a great way of selling your car with confidence. Check out the link in the description below to take you through the process. Now, sitting in the back of the Nissan Micra, you probably won't be too surprised to hear that it's a little bit cramped for people over 6 foot like me. I've got decent leg room, but headroom is very tight. So on long journeys, I might feel a little bit cramped back here. In the boot, you've got the same 326 litre capacity as the Renault, despite that sunken in rear hatch. To drive the Nissan Micra is to drive the Renault 5, you'll be surprised to hear, but that's no bad thing because the Renault drives very well indeed. It's still a little bit fidgety on these 18-inch wheels. Those are the only size wheels you can get on the Micra, and the throttle pedal remains a little bit springy, but the steering feels spot on, and the 148 brake horsepower motor in this top spec version gives you plenty of punch. You can also get a 120 brake horsepower electric motor just like the Renault, and also like the Renault you've got the same choice of 2 batteries. So you've got the entry-level 40 kilowatt-hour battery and the larger 52 kilowatt-hour battery that we've got here. Now, the smaller battery with its less powerful motor does 0 to 60 in 9 seconds, with the more powerful one we've got here chopping that down to 8 seconds. Now, more importantly for the Micra, it's about range, and here is where the Nissan actually surprises. The small battery returns 198 miles of range, while the bigger battery gets up to 260, and that's about 10 miles more than you get from the Renault 5. So there you have it then, the new Nissan Micra. I think Nissan's done a very good job of giving it its own sort of different design at least, but to drive it's just a Renault 5, which is a little bit disappointing. We were kind of hoping that Nissan would give it its own sort of dynamic flavour at least, but it's just a Renault to drive, which isn't too bad because the Renault 5 is an excellent supermini. So this is a very good alternative, and actually it's the same price as the Renault. It starts from £21,500 with that smaller battery. So it comes down to which one you like the look of.